What's up, War Report family? What's going on? Your man Ike Jones here with the Prize Picks pregame. Auburn takes on Memphis. Get on in here, man. Let's talk about this game. It's going to be a good game today, man. Auburn versus Memphis. Memphis is going to be probably the toughest challenge that Auburn has had so far this season. A really good defensive team and a team that can score buckets. Was just taking a look at some stuff on this game, and Memphis is in tops in the country in defense. They are scoring over 70 points per game right now. It's going to be a tough challenge for Auburn away from home this time in Atlanta for the Holiday Hoops Giving tournament. So hopefully we'll see a good showing from Auburn. But let's get into it Prize Pick style. As you guys know, that Prize Picks is the sponsor for this, and we have the cards that we try to put together for every single game. So let's take a look at what we've got going on. I went ahead and put a card together just to save me a little time, but I have one here with a free space, essentially. I mean, unless Justin Herbert doesn't play in this game. One of the good things that you'll see from Prize Picks is that you have the ability sometimes to get these kind of gimme picks to add to your card. So I went ahead and got this one because, as you all know, if you've been watching before, when you put your Prize Picks card together, you can't have all players from the same team. So I took some other Auburn players on mine, but I needed somebody from another team. Didn't really care to go try to scour through some of the other stuff that was going on with some of these other games in NCAA or anything like that. And you can go across different things. I mean, you could go and look at soccer if you wanted to, right? Like there's just a lot of things that you could do. But I went ahead and got this NFL one for Justin Herbert, which means this card will not complete until tomorrow evening because this is the night game versus Miami. But all Justin Herbert has to do is get one passing yard, right? He gets a passing yard, and then two of these other three things happen in my Prize Picks card is going to be a winner. So I went ahead and grabbed Janai Broom for over 10 points, 10.5 points. So if he scores 11, we're good there. At least 10 points from KD Johnson means this is good, and at least 4 assists. I think this is going to be the tougher one because, again, Memphis is a tough defensive team. They do have bigger guards. So the tough one here for me is probably going to be Wendell at 4 assists, but he has been distributing the ball fairly well this season. So I went ahead and did that one. So that is locked in already. You guys can put your own card together. Head over to prizepicks.com. Use code RAPPORT if it's going to be your first time doing it, and you get 100% match of your first deposit up to your first $100. So again, code RAPPORT is what you want to utilize if it's going to be your first time at prizepicks.com. But let's get into talking about this game a little bit more. Auburn versus Memphis. And I see you guys jumping in here in the comment section. I appreciate everybody for coming and checking this out. See, we got John Brandon in here. I see you. A random Go Army in here. Thank you so much for GCZZZZ, whatever that is. But appreciate you for jumping in here. Don Cullen, good to see you, man. War Eagle, right back to you. Kyle Sweat, War Eagle to you. Corey Weber jumps in. Corey is our probably our biggest basketball guy in the chat. He is always into the basketball season stuff. Corey is one of the reasons why a double dribble shirt even exists, because we used to talk about that often with Corey. But Corey, appreciate you coming in. Corey says he's looking for KD to have a big game. He's got a ton of family at the game today. Listen, man, the Atlanta area has been good to Auburn basketball as far as producing talent that Coach Pearl has been able to get in and get acclimated to his system. KD Johnson did remark, if you saw in the pregame presser that is up on our channel right now, that he would have a lot of family at the game. So hopefully he'll be able to perform well in front of them. Hopefully it doesn't mean that he's pressing too much, but KD, we will need to see a big game from KD Johnson, because this is, again, going to be a good defensive team, and guys who can just go get their own shot are going to be important with those. Hopefully KD comes out looking for that medium range shot, because that's really what seemed to be the ignition for him the last couple of games. Not getting all the way to the hole, not shooting the three, but him getting something in the 15 to 18 foot range has been a good way for him to see the ball go in early, and then he can extend, or he can get to the hole a little bit more later in the game. Don Cullen says, yeah, this looks like it could be really physical. Auburn has got to make those shots away from the basket. It's going to be a real tight in the lane. Got to agree that the shooting from distance, if we shoot anything like we did in this last game, then that'll be great. Hopefully that's a trend. I have not heard that anyone is not playing in this game. We'll have Jay Will back in this one. So it's going to be good to have him back out there on the court. And that rest period that we've had is going to help with guys like Janai Broom, who's been playing banged up, and for some other guys who've been working their way through some stuff. Hopefully, we'll be able to see that come to fruition, that being more outside shots dropping. But I think it's going to be important. I think the most important thing in a very physical game like this is that we have good free throw shooting. Get yourself to the line and be able to knock down your free throws, because if it's going to be a physical game and you're going to be able to draw those fouls, you got to get out there and make the free throws. So free throw shooting is going to be super crucial for us in this game. So hopefully they are ready to go out there and knock down those free throws. Let's see here. What else we got? Oh, yes. Leah Stottle says, did y'all see that we got that 7'4" star center? We did get a new commitment recently, a center. So we'll probably talk about that a little bit more tomorrow on the Sunday show. Again, if you are not a frequent visitor of the War Report, just things that we have going on Sunday afternoons at 1 p.m. Central. We do a weekend tailgate show. So you guys stop by. We'll probably talk a little bit more about the new commitment that we had there. But good to see that we're producing some more guys coming into the program. If you guys don't know, I am not big on talking too much about commitments or devoting too much time to commitments until they sign, but it is a good sign that he's gone ahead and at least committed to it. So looking forward to seeing what that young man does as he progresses in his high school career, making his way up. Don again jumps in. KD and Wendell got to make those 3-pointers. We definitely, Wendell Green, I think it's going to be even more important for him to make his threes. KD's a better finisher in the lane amongst the trees. Wendell is crafty in the lane, but KD, I think, is a better finisher. And I mean, he definitely plays through contact better than Wendell does because he's got a more of a, he can jump a little bit better. So it's going to be crucial for Wendell to make his outside shots if he's going to contribute offensively, because otherwise it's going to be tough sledding on the inside for him. See what else we got here. Oh, this is interesting. Don says Susan, which is his wife, is a Memphis grad, could be contentious in the home front tonight. Listen, I understand having someone in your household that is from a separate fan base. So definitely feel for you. Hopefully you will have the bragging rights in the household this afternoon. So we're about 20 minutes away from tip. I haven't looked to see how the game that was playing before ours is going. So that's really going to be the only thing that would prevent it from starting right on time. It's going to probably be, if everything is moving on time, it's going to be probably around 4:05 when tip-off will happen, according to the schedule that I saw. But we're about a little 25 minutes away from the tip-off of that game. Looking to see some thoughts from you all on how you think the game is going to go. Thank you for everybody who's jumped in so far. If you haven't already, make sure you share the video. If you have some people who want to get in and talk a little basketball before this game starts, sharing the video helps us to be able to get out there to the people who we can't reach everybody, but you guys can certainly broaden the net. And another big thing from an algorithm standpoint is for you guys to make sure that you like the video. Right now, go ahead while you're listening to me talk about it, like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're not able to comment on the video, it's because you are not a subscriber to the War Report. And we want to make sure that the people who are here are subscribers. That is no cost to you at all to be able to subscribe to us. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and make sure you guys are locked in with us. And we would genuinely appreciate that. Let's see. Jump back in here to the chat. Corey Weber says there's 8 minutes left in the game before, so they are right around schedule. Again, from looking at the schedule that they sent us with the media stuff, they have a minimum of 20 minutes between games. So if that game ends at 10 till, then the next game can't start before 10 after. Right. So it'll be about 10 after 4 when it would start if that actually ends in 8 minutes. But 8 minutes of game time is definitely not 8 minutes in real time. So it will not be starting right at 4 o'clock, though it's scheduled for a 4 o'clock start. So just heads up on that. So let's see. Woolby jumps in and says we need Flanagan to have a good game. Hopefully he can hit a couple of threes. I think the good thing about Flanagan from late is that he's been a little bit more aggressive with his shot, and he's done a really good job of taking better shots. The quality of shot has always been a thing that I've harped on with this Auburn team is not necessarily the volume or even the percentages. It's the quality. I think the quality goes up, um, then the percentages go up. If you're taking good shots, if you're taking them in rhythm, if you're taking them in the flow of the offense and not forcing up early shots in the shot clock, or you're taking ill-advised shots even late in the clock, you're getting quality shots, whether that's coming via rotation or the dribble. That is really where you're going to see Auburn function a little bit better. So the offense is going to have to come to play today because open shots are going to be a premium. You got to make sure that you're knocking those down. Definitely want to see Flanagan have a good game. Um, Corey Weber says he thinks that Traore is going to have a good game today. It's his coming out party. He's been a guy who has been up and down. He's definitely played like a freshman for us thus far, but I think his skill level is definitely one of the more unique ones on the team, just in his ability to move and his height. He's an excellent rim run guy, so hopefully he'll get an opportunity to do those things. And he has a good stroke; like he can actually shoot the ball from the outside. I think he is sometimes I feel like he's a little too ready to shoot that shot, even though it may not be the best shot in the world. He likes to shoot the little corner three as he drifts down into the short corner to be able to shoot that. It's a shot that he definitely can make. He rushes it sometimes. So hopefully he'll just be able to, in the flow of the game, be able to get some shots up early and then I want to see him be a solid contributor on the glass. I think that's the biggest thing for me in Traore in his minutes is solid contributions on the glass, making sure that he has the ability to secure both the offensive and defensive boards to allow us to have the possessions we're going to need. That's going to be a big thing again in a game where possessions are going to be crucial when you have a good defensive team that you're playing against. Think about the Northwestern game. Every rebound is going to be crucial. So you want to secure possessions, limit the number of times they have an opportunity, and give yourself more opportunities to go out there and get buckets up. So hopefully he does have a really good game. Looking forward to seeing what he does. Let's see here. John Brandon is confident in ATL being close to a home game and we win. Definitely hoping that's the case. Listen, Auburn fans travel well, and it's a good day to travel. So hopefully there's going to be a lot of Auburn fans in the building giving us that energy. We, again, have talked about how the um, the fans of the players are going to be there because we have that ATL connection with a lot of those players. So hopefully we'll be able to see those guys have their family, friends out there cheering them on. So hopefully we get a good Auburn crowd, a crowd in Auburn's favor, and we turn that into Neville Arena East over there at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia, where this game is going to be tipping off probably again in about 20 or so minutes, depending upon what happens with the game before. It is a tournament, or it's not really a tournament because you don't play like a bracket or anything, but there's multiple games being played on the same court. So when the game finishes before that will determine the start time of our game. It's scheduled to start at 4 o'clock, likely not going to be the start time. Again, you have to have a minimum of 20 minutes of break between the games for the crews to be able to get, some rest and then to be able to get the arena turned over in case there are people who are just there to see a particular game. So they have to have time for all of those things to happen. So hopefully we'll be seeing that game start here in about 20 minutes or so. But we'll look forward to the start of that game. Anthony Grant jumps in and said, we must rebound no second chance points or limited second chance points. I'll say that. We definitely want to see the number of second chance opportunities, which is something that we have in spurts struggled with as a team this year, is being able to secure the defensive glass and having limited second chance points. We've seen them struggle with that because we are so heavy on heavy as a shot blocking team. We've got multiple guys who like to get in there and block shots. And that means that the defensive glass is difficult to secure if you're not ready on the backside to be able to do that. So it's going to be interesting to see how we're able to do that and limit the number of second chance opportunities for Memphis today. Don Cullen says, hopes he sees more of Lior. I don't know that Lior is going to play a ton in this game. Because we have a full complement of guys. The rotation with Lior being in there this past time or this last game was due to the fact that Jay Will was out. We could afford to go to a different kind of lineup against Colgate that would allow for him to not be a liability defensively. And because this is going to be such a tough defensive matchup, I don't know that Lior is going to get a ton of minutes. We did see a change in philosophy as far as Lior getting minutes over. Who was it that played less minutes in the last game? The other freshman kid. I don't know why y'all know if y'all watch my names just escape my brain often when I'm sitting here trying to think of guys. But the other freshman guard didn't play very much in the last game. And Lior was the one that got the rotation. And that really didn't have anything to do with the injury to Jay Will. That was just a rotational change that Coach Pearl decided that he was going to do. So it's going to be interesting to see how he rotates the guards in this game. So let's see here. Trey Donaldson, thank you so much, because y'all know I wasn't going to come up with the name right off the top of my head. That is not what I do, is come up with names. I can see faces, I can see even jersey numbers, but names just aren't my thing. Let's see. Leah Stottle asked a facts or not question. Do we score 70 points today? Memphis is not prone to giving up 70 points per game. If we get into a place where we're scoring 70, I feel very confident in the fact that we're going to win this basketball game. I was about to say football game. I feel very confident if you get scoring 70 in a football game, then you're probably obliterating somebody anyway. But yeah, I feel confident that we win the game if it gets into 70, because I just don't think that we're going to give up above 70. We haven't done that very many times this season already. So I think it's a good shot that if we score 70 plus, we're going to win. To me, it feels more like a mid-60s game. If we're offensively in a place where we're shooting proficiently, though, we can score 70 every single game, because we do get that many open looks. We just have to be able to take advantage of and actually knock them down. All right, let's see here. John Brandon jumps in. Facts or not, Trayor and Cardwell combined for 8 blocks. Ooh, this is a very good one. Cardwell is somewhere in like right around 4, maybe 5 blocks per game. Trayor, I think if you ask me Broom and Cardwell to combine for 8 blocks, I'd readily say this would be a facts. I'm going to say nah on this one, actually. So I don't know that we'll get to 8 between those two. I think Broom is the more likely candidate to get you those blocks, to get you to 8. So 4 apiece for those two guys. If they do, and then you still have Broom in there blocking shots, then that probably means that we've blocked somewhere around 12 shots in that game, honestly. So yeah. Let's see. Yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier from Corey Weber. Falling in love with the block shots opens the back door for the opens the door for the backside rebounds. That has been the big thing for us on the backside of not securing the glass, is falling in love with trying to go get those block shots. So hopefully we'll have more discipline. And it's a big thing to help us stay out of foul trouble, is not falling in love with it either, because if they're doing a good job, meaning Memphis, to be able to just kind of lure us into wanting to block the shots, and we're jumping a little bit too eagerly, then that means we're probably off of the floor at the wrong time. So we'll end up in foul trouble. And I don't want to see that, because then that it limits what you can do rotationally. So let's see. Let's see what here. What? Oh, John Brandon meant to say Broom when he was talking about that earlier. So I'll say facts if that's with Broom out there on that one. So Leah Stottle says the game was moved to 410. So again, listen, man, see, I don't steer y'all wrong. Y'all got to know your man Ike Jones is here with the information. I am here with the information. Told you, at least 20 minutes between those games. If it was going to be scheduled to be done right around now, then you got that 20-minute gap that you have to have between those games. So 10 after is now the time where that game is scheduled to begin. I would assume that the actual tip off will then be probably about 10:15. So yeah, let's see. Don, appreciate you very much. Props for me for going solo. Hey, man, got to do what I got to do. I'm going to get out here and get y'all this content, man. If I have to go solo every day to make sure y'all get the content so we can come in here and we can talk as a family, I'm good with that. I still don't actually know, I'm going to be honest with y'all, why I wear the headphones when I'm in here by myself. I don't, because there's nothing that I can hear except for my own voice. And I could definitely hear my own voice without the headphones. I don't know why I do that. But I do it. It's for the look. So like if I take a clip of this later, I'll look like I was, doing so I don't know. I have no idea. It's all for show. There's nothing there. I don't hear anything in these. So yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Corey asked here, what are the chances the AU team peaks at the right time? Seems like we peaked early last year. I don't. So this is an interesting thing about peaking early. I'll leave the comment up here as I talk about that. It's an interesting thing about peaking early. I don't necessarily think that we peaked early last year. I think we were who we were for the entirety of the season. I just think that like the the thing that happens with a lot of teams is you fall in love with your own tendencies, right? And so we really had become a pick and roll team as the season progressed. And teams just started understanding how they could defend the pick. Let's when you watch what we do offensively, primarily last year we were running flex and we were running pick and roll, right? Those were our two major offensive sets, were flex and pick and roll. The flex action is more of a motion thing, and it relies on crisp, backside screens and good passing in the interior to be able to get easy and quick shots. When we were running flex last year, we could steal some buckets pretty easily early by getting it to the high post. But I don't think that we utilized flex patiently last year. Have we been a little bit more patient with our flex action, we probably would have been better. But what we were really good with was the pick and roll action, especially when they figured out we're going to move Jabari out of the pick and roll action and let him be an off the ball guy on the wing or in the short corner. And then you put Kessler as the roller, right? Because what that made is more room for you to be able to kick to Jabari in the corner because he was the best 3-point shooter on the team last year. And so you gave yourself more room to get downhill with a guy like Wendell, who was good at throwing the lob over the top of Kessler. What you saw early in the season a lot last year during that run that we had was pick and roll downhill, lobs over the top, or you got Wendell going all the way to the lane, right? Teams figured that out. They figured that out, that this was going to be our primary thing. You get into some bigger guards where Wendell's not able to shoot over the top of them or even pass over the top efficiently and effectively, and it changes how you're able to score points. The other thing that I think that we did not have last year was a valid post presence guy. And that meant that when you get into those scoring droughts that we had earlier in the season, right? Um, you don't really have a place to go to get easy buckets. And the flex action is probably your best thing to do, but it's great to have a guy who in that flex action doesn't have to be a catch and layup guy. You can just give him the ball in the flex with better leverage, and then he can turn and actually go get you a bucket. So hopefully, because we can be a little bit more have a little bit more variety in the way in which we attack offenses, that will allow it won't allow teams to get a bead on how to stop us defensively as easily. So I don't know that we necessarily peaked too early. It felt like a peak because we played so poorly offensively down the stretch. I just think you had enough tape on this team. People started to figure us out defensively. So hopefully we have a way to be able to switch up off of that a little bit better this year. So anyway, that's a very long thought process around that. But anyway, um, let's see. Ooh, Leah Stottle asked a good question. Who will be the leading scorer in this game? This is a difficult one. I tend to lean towards guys like Janai being able to get the second chance buckets as being a leading scorer for us. Um, but man, you just can't count out and a motivated KD Johnson to come in here and drop 23 or some crazy number on people. He's going to want to get to the free throw line. So if he's able to get to the free throw line in the proficiency in which he wants to, that's going to be a lot of free points for him. And if his jump shot is falling early, then that means he's going to be a guy that's so again with a physical matchup, KD going to the hole, free throws. If he's hitting his jump shots early, that means he's going to be able to be even more effective going downhill because you have to close out on him. And if this game is tight, then that's the kind of game KD Johnson gets even more amped up for. So I'm going to go KD Johnson, honestly. Hopefully he doesn't let me down and have a bad shooting night. So, all right. And yes, Don, for those wondering, the game is on ESPN2. So make sure that you are ready for that. We are probably about 13 minutes now from tip with it being moved to 10 after. So you guys make sure that you're there. We're only going to be on here for another 3 minutes because, um, you know, Y'all don't want to just sit here and listen to me ramble for 40 minutes. 30 minutes is plenty of you listening to me talk about anything. Anyway, um, so let's see what we else we got here. Nature over everything says Wendell points, rebounds, assists 23. If you guys don't know, that is actually a prop here on Prize Picks for Wendell. Points, rebounds, assists. Let me see what the number is on him. Doo-doo-dum. I don't know what our Prize Picks prop for Wendell's point, rebound, and assist total. On Prize Picks, they have it at 21.5. So if you've got nature over everything, if you think 23 is his point, rebound, assist number, then you need to head to prizepicks.com and make a card and make sure that Wendell's a portion of that, picking the over, because you would definitely be right in that case if your number comes to fruition. So fruition, man, I just threw a collegiate word out on y'all. I don't even understand how I'm coming out here with the collegiate talk randomly for y'all by myself all day. Me anyway. But yeah, man, it's gonna be it'd be a good look for you to be able to get that in there. So make sure that you're doing that. Another reminder from our guy J Dog, hit the like button. If you're in here, go ahead and like this video, even if you don't like me personally. Maybe you don't like me, but you just like good content. Then hey, ignore the fact that it's me providing the good content and go ahead and hit that like button. It definitely helps us in these here YouTube algorithm streets. So appreciate y'all for jumping in here and make sure that you're liking the video. All right. Corey says, look for Memphis to double win early and often. How we adjust will be key. I think this is a thing when I was talking about how, we went through the rough stretch down the end of the season, what a lot of teams were doing. And I think it might have been Missouri, who was the first team to really do this, but I think the team that did it the best early was Florida, and they were hedging on Wendell in the pick and roll, right? Like they weren't letting him get downhill. So you had the big who did this really well was Castleton, right? So Colin Castleton would play high on the screen side, and they just wouldn't let Wendell get downhill. They'd hedge, and then they would come and converge on him to try to force the ball out of his hands. And because he can't see over the top of that double team, it was more difficult for us to run our offense. And we were getting late shots in the clock that weren't necessarily quality shots. So that's where a guy like Westry is going to be important, right? If he's running the point and that we see, okay, that's what the strategy is. They want to play our screen and roll action, and they want to Westry can see over the top of that, right? And if he's and he plays with really good pace, so if Westry's if that's going to be their thing and Westry stays out of foul trouble, then we can definitely get into a position where we can counter that with throwing a bigger guard out there and having better opportunities for us to get into our offense with him down there. So that's going to be an interesting thing to look out for if that is the case. Let's see. John Cullen asking about my tee. This is the Outlive shirt, right? So I went in, I got this from the Auburn basketball show, or actually I went and got this from the Outlive store. So if you guys don't know, the Outlive Foundation is something that Bruce Pearl supports breast cancer, or not breast cancer, but cancer awareness. So that is where I got this here shirt from. I went and bought that myself. So you guys can go and support that cause for sure. And I'm sure that they'll appreciate that. All that goes towards cancer research. So let's see what else we got. Yes, definitely hoping that. So here's the thing, man, that's been interesting with Janai Broom this season. So Don Cullen jumps in and says, hoping that Janai is hot tonight. Janai's been getting good looks in the medium range, but he hasn't been hitting them with a high enough proficiency for my liking. Just because I feel like they're quality shots, and he just needs to be able to get his feet under him. He has been dealing with an ankle injury early in the season, so I don't know where he is in his health. He's running a lot better now, but I still don't feel like he has the vertical ability that he fully would like to have. Maybe this break that we've had during finals and such will put him in a position where he has been able to get a little bit more healthy. But if he's playing well tonight, I think that that's bad business for Memphis, because that means that we can go to the paint pretty much at will. But he is crafty around the bucket, so hopefully we see some of that craftiness out there, being able to get easy buckets from around 8 feet in, right? I don't really like when he steps out and tries to shoot the three. Hopefully, he'll be able to get in a little bit closer and be able to medium range. I want to see him be a little bit more better from that from a high post perspective. But he is really crafty around the bucket, so hopefully he'll be able to sneak us some good ones there. He's playing really well defensively right now, though. Even out high, he's doing really well at being on ball and guarding there. But in the post, of course, he's been a shot blocker. He's been an eraser on the back end. So great comment there from our guy, Don Cullen. Cam says that's Alan Flanagan, needs to stay where he needs Flan to stay within himself. That's been the issue for Flanagan over the last couple of years, is when he is rushing and not really trying to take his time or being proficient in the way in which he is attacking, he gets into foul trouble or he's getting turnover prone. So hopefully he won't be in that position. And we'll have a good game out of him today. All right, man, I'm going to get out of here. We got about 7 minutes from the scheduled time, and we will see you guys. I don't know if I'm going to do a post game today. This might end early enough. Maybe we'll jump on and talk post game because this is probably the biggest game so far this season, so it might be interesting to talk about it. But that's it, man. I'm about to get out of here. Once again, you guys make sure that you go and hit up our sponsor, Prize Picks. Tell them that the War Report sent you. Use code REPORT, 15% off. Price match up to, not 50% off, but 100% deposit match up to your first $100. We'll see you guys after the game, possibly, but I am out of here. War Eagle, holla.